All right, a lot of things going on, a lot of things to talk about, and nothing to talk about all at the same time. But in July, we're sitting here, and we just got to see an awesome picture of one of the best Bucks, and what I believe is a Buck that is going to be an all-rookie, all-first-team player this year, because they got the best interior offensive line in the draft. And we're just going to take a second to talk about Graham Barton and exactly what he brings to this team and why it is so important for him to be the guy that calls everything on this team. This is a guy that played almost all of his starts. Of the 39 starts he had in college for the Duke Blue Devils, he started 35 of them at left tackle. He had 4 more starts at center. He will be playing at center at least to start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they got what I believe is the number 1 or number 2 interior offensive lineman in this entire draft, which is extremely good value when you're picking late in the first round. When they get him with the 26th pick and they get what is arguably the best player at a position, you are doing something right. And that is why I am so excited about what they have in Graham Barton, but I'm not the only one. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what his college coach said about who he is, what you can expect, and what another writer said about him for this upcoming year, and just a little bit of some of the intangibles that he brings to the team. But before we get into that, if you're new to this channel, we cover multiple NFL teams. We just love football, and our hope is to give you a non-biased view of your team. You see over here, you see the Hutch jersey. We're Lions fans. We have another channel called Sports Talk Detroit. That's where this all started a few years ago. But then a year ago, we were like, we can't contain it. We want to talk about more football teams. All right? And I'm sorry. I know I'm talking as a Lions fan. I know what happened in the playoffs. I get it. All right? I get it. You probably feel about us how we feel about the 49ers. All right? But we're here to bring you a non-biased view. So if you like what we're doing after you watch this video, hit that subscribe button. If not, don't worry about it. Maybe another one of our videos will pop up in the future. So here's what his coach, Elko, had to say about Barton. He said, first of all, it's just the intangibles. He said during the recent SEC spring meetings in Destin, he said his work ethic, his ability and desire to get better, where he was when we took the program over, and just watching him become what he became by the end, I think it was really impressive and amazing. Now, you want to see someone that is going to get better over the course of time, because that is someone who is willing to put in the work. He's willing to put in the effort that it takes to get better. But you talked about more, and this is one of the reasons that I think is so important. He said when you talk about an NFL offensive line where they have 7, maybe 8 guys dressed, it's a rare one who can play literally every position across the front, Elko said. I think when you put it all together, I think that's where a tremendous value for people is, for sure. So you have a guy that's going to come in here and he's going to be your starting center. Like, it's not even close. He's going to be fantastic. If you need him to play right or left guard, he can do that. If you need him to play left tackle, arguably the most important position on the offensive line, he can do that. He doesn't have great length, and that is one of the reasons that he is projected to be a center in the NFL. That is one of the reasons. But when he tests as a center, he tested as the third, or as a guard, interior offensive lineman. He tested as the 3rd most athletic guard ever to play. You want your tackles to have 34-inch arms. That's why they drafted him as an interior offensive lineman. But his speed, a sub 540, his agility was elite. His size was good. Everything about him was good. He didn't test explosiveness. It doesn't matter. You're not jumping. You're not doing broad jumps as a lineman. You need to know what your agility is, and you need to know what your composite speed is. What can you do? Can you pull? Can you do different things like this? He is an absolute elite athlete on the interior of the offensive line. He's not elite when it comes to tackles, but he still is, outside of his arm length, he still is an elite talent. His coach thinks he's fantastic, and quite frankly, I do too. All right? I'm not the only one. All right. NFL draft analyst thinks that he is going to be part of the all-rookie team. He said the Buccaneers landed the best center in the draft. A much-needed addition for a team that wants to win a fourth straight NFC South title and make a deeper playoff run this time around. All right. This is Chad Reuter of NFL draft analyst. He said Barton can play any spot on the offensive line despite his average length. Also, he possesses the intelligence to handle calling protections and making adjustments in the middle of the line. There are many accolades in his future, including a spot on the 2024 All-Rookie team. And quite frankly, Chad, I couldn't agree with you more. All right, this guy has all the tools to be exactly that. An all-rookie first-team player. But when you look at him, his ability to play across the line, there's another reason that I think he is so important. All right? Baker Mayfield. What we know about Baker Mayfield is that he will try as hard as really any quarterback in the league. He'll do crazy stuff. He'll hold on to the ball too long. He'll run into weird spots. But overall, dude's just going to do some funky stuff. You need an offensive line that is athletic enough to stick with blocks, to help across the line. You need a center that can call out the right protections and that is smart enough to understand exactly what his quarterback needs. Graham Barton's a freak athlete, but he's also very smart. You don't get to go play football at Duke unless you're very smart. They have very high academic standards to get into that school. He is a smart guy. But beyond just the athleticism, third most athletic guard ever to test, beyond the fact that he has positional versatility across the entirety of the offensive line. He's played left tackle. He's played center, right? So he's played outside in. Despite the extreme versatility, the great athleticism, and the extreme smarts, how does it translate on the field? All right, and when he was playing at Duke, according to PFF, it translated really well. All right, it translated really well, especially when he was fully healthy, not last year, but the year before that. All right, he played almost 900 offensive snaps, only gave up 2 sacks. That was at left tackle. That's not playing it as an interior offensive lineman. That's playing at left tackle. This guy is a phenomenal athlete, and he played some of his better games against some of the better teams like Clemson, all right, and Pitt. All right, he played well against good competition as well. You guys have found a beast. And here's what I'm going to say, and I'm just going to show this to you. You've already seen it on the thumbnail. Doesn't he look good in that picture too? Like, let me just zoom in there for you. That's your future center, all right? Looking good in that picture, all right? 62 days until the NFL kicks off from the time of filming this. Enjoy, Bucs fan. You've got your starting center for the next 10 to 15 years.